Well, it's a frozen Saturday morning, very early. I'm out and about. Basically, obviously, anyway, all I'm doing today is just doing some Sunday roast infills. And I just thought I'd film my wander and have a bit of a chat along the way. So you're welcome to join me on this very frosty morning. I love a morning like this. I will head off to, well, I'll go uptown, over town, past the mental. Got to pass the mental, haven't I? See what's been going on, then head to Johnny's, I think, something like that. I'll have a bit of a natter on the way, and like I say, just to do some infills on my Sunday roast. That's all I'm going to do today. Sun's starting to rise. Got to watch these paths, very slippy, so it's better to walk on the grass. A bit more of a grip. See this car here, frozen solid. There's the castle, right in the centre of the shot, hopefully, if you can see that. I won't be heading to the castle today, I'll be just heading uptown and across town and towards the mental and that area, so you're welcome to join me. Just heading towards Town's End, which is the bottom of town. Junction between Brithin Road, Rill Road and Vale Street. Vale Street is the main road heading up into the top of town. We call it the top of town, which is the High Street. It's not literally the top of town. It is the Lawnthorwell Inn and all that's the highest part of Denbigh, but we call it the top of town. Frozen solid. Right, this is Town's End, bottom of town. It's the novelty phone box. And this is top of town, which is High Street. We call it top of town. Keep it warm. The old Morton Stanley, Dr. Livingstone, I presume. In them days he didn't have a hat like that. Anyway, head up to the mental now, I think. Leaving High Street, and this is heading for Love Lane. It's actually Highgate from the High Street up until the old Rudy's. A lot of people think that it's Love Lane, but it's not, it's Highgate. That white building there, which is the old Rudy's, that's when it starts to be Love Lane. And just on my left is the steps going up to the castle. Just giving you a bit of a just info roughly where I am. Just up these steps here leads you to Burgess Gate up there, and then straight up Castle Hill up to the castle. And this is the old Futura, or the old Wedgwood in my day when I was a kid. Wedgwood Cinema. No roof on it now. It's actually for sale. It's had planning permission. That's the old Rudy's, by the way. That's Swine Market down there. But yeah, it's actually got planning permission, I think, for 6 flats or something like that. That's in that red building there. It's lovely garage. That's what I used to. Well, that's where I grew up as a kid. My father and my tide, which is grandfather in Welsh. We don't call him grandfather, they call him your tide. 9 in your tide. They run the garage. This was the showroom and the old garage and the attic. And that's where I grew up as a child. It's a lovely garage. All these cars parked here, they're all on permit. They've even the owners, they were parking their cars there for a certain amount of time. This is going back a bit now, and they were getting fined a hell of a lot of money. But I think it's like a permit system now. There's a sign there, it probably tells you on that they're allowed to park there now. And this is the old jail on my right there. That's the old jail. Which, yes, it is reputedly haunted. It's the old jail. I'm not sure much about the history of that or what it dates back to, but it literally was an old jail. That's probably why it's called the old jail. Anyway, just over this brow of this hill, which is Love Lane. And guess what will come into sight? The mental. Sun's coming up now, it's bright. And this road here, it's on the left there, top of Love Lane, takes you to the castle, which is up there. You can see a bit of it. And there, that's where the patients, the escapees from the mental used to go to commit, well, attempt to commit suicide. No one actually ever jumped, like, but that's where they used to go. They used to stand on a ledge, very sad. And there was the threat to jump and everything. And when you get the police and everything, but they were always talked down. No one actually jumped as kids. We would get to know, we think, oh, jump, and we'd all come up here and watch and that. But you know, when you're a kid, you don't think, like, but it's very sad indeed. Anyway, just drop you down and the mental will come into view, folks. Just wait for this van. Probably will turn because Love Lane, you can't go down Love Lane now. You can only come up it. It's a one-way street. In my day it was 2 ways, but it's just one way now. And just there's the men's shed now. That used to be the old Treverion, just up there. Takes you to, well, if you bear, hang on, turn around. If you bear left, takes you into the Gwyniau, top half of Gwyniau. If you go straight on and down, it takes you to the Goblin Tower. Whoa, that sun. Nice haze on the old mental this morning. Oh, did I mention the Goblin Tower's haunted? It's haunted, by the way, just in case I never mentioned it. You probably won't be able to see much. May be able to pick out the skyline of the mental. The sun is directly in. Oh, you've got the ice on the wall there. Shows you how cold it is. Yeah, you may not be able to see the mental, well, especially with this camera. I got the GoPro going, and here's the car. Mental camera record equals car. Anyway, that's the mental. You may be able to pick out the skyline of the roofs there. And the ice on this wall here. There's the car. It's a scientific fact. Scientists for a million years have been trying to work that out. Well, not a million years, that's a bit of an exaggeration, more like 1,000 years. Mental, camera, press record, and a car will appear from nowhere. So anyway, it's the mental, nurse's home, the mental. I'll be heading towards the cinder track, which is haunted as well. I might not have mentioned that. mental. And these buildings here, they've all been done up now. All the dressed stone and all that. Well, new roofs and as well then. Apartments at the back. This was Pennant Farm. That's the old mental farm. All self-resourceful, the mental was. It's like a village all in itself, all self-contained and everything. Used to have the farm, the gardens, used to have the tailors, joiners, metal workers, barbers, you name it, they had it there. They had it all in the mental. All in one like community. I'm going to just be turning off in a second down the cinder track, which is haunted. Might not mention it's haunted, and means the cinder track is haunted. Wow, the sun, no heat in it, but wow, it's bright. Private road, vehicular access to Kingsmill only. There's more bump there on the mental, but it is a public right of way. It's a public footpath, so it's the cinder track, which is haunted. And I have explained 101 times why it's called the cinder track, but in case you're new to this channel, the mental was the heating system was coal, and to get rid of the cinders, this is where they used to dump it. They used to line this track with the cinders, and that's why it was called the cinder track. When we were kids, we would come down, there's no cinders on it today, of course, but we'd come down the Age Walk. It used to be probably 2-3 inches, perhaps a bit more thick, of black cinders, and it used to make a hell of a noise. We used to walk on it. They used to tip it down the bank as well, but they used to just line this track, just keep dumping it and spreading it on this track. Yeah, it used to make a hell of a noise, crunch crunch. So that's why it's called the cinder track. And down this bank here, that's where they used to chuck the cinders as well. Very frosty morning. Lovely for a walk. Can't beat it. Check if this piece of fencing is still here. It's lasting quite well. And it's still here. The amount of times that's been pushed in, but there's a big gap there, but there's quite a few gaps a bit further down. And this grill here, when we were kids, this wasn't here when the hospital was up and running. It was just and it was all open there. There were 2 gates up there, but this is the way we used to come down to the pavilion. We'd either cycle or walk. We'd never come round this way down the cinder track, you know. We never used to bypass the mental. We'd always come through the mental, past the big chimney. There's a big chimney, you go past the nurse's home, and then you come to that big chimney on the corner, which that got demolished. Actually, when the hospital was open, I think that got knocked down or blown up or whatever. But it was on the corner there. But just, if you looked up there now, you'd see the chimney. Obviously these days you can't because it's not there. But yeah, and then we come down there, and then we turn down here and head to the pavilion, which is the rugby and the cricket field. We used to play and knock about down here on our bikes or whatever, and then we'd head back up, and we'd go back through the mental again. Just on the left here is what's left of the, well, we used to call it the cricket pavilion, but the rugby club used to use it as well, but it was known as the cricket pavilion. Hopefully you can see it, because like I say, this is the GoPro. It's a wide angle lens, but right in the centre of the shot, a nice bird of prey flying away there. Yeah, that's the like I say, it was called the cricket pavilion, but the rugby, cricket was that side and rugby field was that side. And if you look it up, there's an old photo. I've got an old book all about the mental, and it's got the photo in there. But I think you can look it up online and that. and you see the rugby team all sort of lined up, roughly here, somewhere there, and you can see the cricket pavilion in the background. So anyway, heading past the old mill and past the old Denbigh Dam, making my way to Johnson's Monument. I may have called it Johnny's at the beginning of the video. I think I don't know what I said, Johnny's or Johnson's. It's Johnson's Monument, but we called it Johnny's or Journeyman's. Bridge to the G&P Woods has been blocked off. That's the G&P Woods. Although that bridge, the last time I was over that bridge was last week, I think it was, just to do a bit of a few shots, and it's very dodgy. Feels like it's going to snap. Some of them pieces of wood on it are very fragile, so that's probably why they've blocked it off. Starting to be like a bit of a mist now. I think the sun's, well, not here anyway, but starting to melt this frost. The old sheep need their winter coats in this weather, keep them warm. Now then, which way shall I go? Up that way or straight on? I'll go straight on and clockwise direction, I think now. Top part of Johnson's and then head down. Sometimes I go up that way and then turn off the main road, but I think I'll head this way. Head up to the Nanklin Road and that. And I'll come back this way. I'll be joining the road somewhere up there from the Journeyman's path, and then a short section of road, or you can carry on. If you carry on, follow the road up, you come to the the side of the nurses' home, or the mental. I'll head on this way, I think. I've got the Nanklin Road. They're all crunching. The grass is absolutely solid. Lovely day for a walk though. Crunch, crunch, crunch. It's easy to walk on though, you get a good grip. I'll be joining the road in a minute. Going over the bridge. And this area is called the Lount. And this is where I turn off on the Nanklin Road. Probably can't see that sign. Anyway, it's up here. I'm about to be turning off about half a mile, 3/4 of a mile, turning off the road altogether then. This is the view, looking, we can get through, towards Castell Denbigh Castle. Should be right in the centre of the shot. So that's Denbigh Castle, Castell Denbigh, highest part of Denbigh Town, North Wales. Right, keep going. can not only smell that, you can taste it. Ooh, it stinks. Right, about 1/4 mile I'll be turning off. I'll just give you a bit of a view of a hazy, wow, them pheasants, the hundreds of them. I was going to give you a look at the view, but I'll give you, well, hopefully you can see these pheasants. I hold the camera still. Like I say, it's a wide angle lens, but you should be able to see them all running about, moving. There's about, well, I would say 50, 60 of them, something like that. Anyway, obviously, basically, there's a very hazy, frosty North Wales skyline. That's Foel Gasydd. That peak there, Foel Gasydd. But yeah, they're not scattered in. Normally I thought they'd run for cover, these pheasants, but there's a few of them. But anyway, obviously, basically, very hazy, very cold, frosty Denbighshire countryside. Yeah, I'll be turning off soon, 1/4 mile-ish, something like that, and then I'll be dropping down to Johnny's. There's another load of pheasants here too. And these lot of starting to take flight, unlike the others. Well, there's a few remaining eyeing me up. Right, leaving the road now. Heading up a little bit and then dropping down to Journeyman's. Just looking across to the Gwynnog estate. And Gwynnog Hall, hopefully you can make it out. It should be in the middle of the shot there. You can see a little bit of it anyway. That's Gwynnog Hall. This is the Gwynnog estate. Johnson's, it's just down there in them trees there. Just drop down to it and over the river. Dropping down to the bridge now, and just on my right would be Johnny's. Oh, I watch this. Very slippy. Very slippy indeed. So here I am, Journeyman's. I have done about half a dozen infills for my Sunday roast. Hear the leaves crunching there. There's Johnny's. A very frozen Johnny's. Yeah, I've done a few of the infills. I'll head my way back now. Probably do a few more. So, thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you again.